Following the 2024 U.S. presidential election, there's been a notable surge in interest among Americans looking to move abroad. While INTERNATIONS' 2024 Best Destination for Expats report offers some great options, it's surprising that Portugal did not make the top 10. Critics point to rising home prices, the effects of mass tourism on the cost of living, and the removal of the NHR tax scheme.
But don't write it off just yet. According to Numbeo, Portugal ranks 12th for Americans searching for a place to visit or move to in 2024. Live and Invest Overseas also listed Portugal as the second best place to retire in 2024. And International Living magazine continues that trend, ranking it second for retirement in 2025. If you're new here, we're Diane and Guillermo. We've been home-based in Lisbon since 2021 and have seen firsthand the changes and challenges. Living among Portuguese locals and connecting with countless expats from around the globe, one thing is clear. If you're looking for a better quality of life, Portugal still delivers on every level.
In today's video, we're breaking down the 10 reasons why Portugal remains a top choice for American expats looking to retire abroad. We're also tossing a couple bonus reasons that we think are important considerations when choosing Portugal as a home. So stick around as we dive in from two expats' perspective to help you decide if Portugal is the right fit for your next chapter. Portuguese are more reserved initially. They take time to develop friendships, but they're almost always polite and friendly. We've had several situations where Portuguese people have demonstrated their unconditional friendliness and incomparable kindness. From day one, moving temporarily into Trafaria, a small fishing town right across the Teja River, older community where everybody knew everyone, and we immediately stuck out in the crowds. We lived there for about 4 months. We got plenty of surprise looks at first, but eventually seeing us over and over, walking the dogs, eating at the restaurants, and shopping at the local grocery stores, we started getting the smiles and the bom dias. Although not many spoke English, there were plenty of chances where they took the time to teach us basic Portuguese.
Once we moved to Lisbon, we struck up conversations with locals in restaurants, and they're always suggesting their favorite wines and foods. Locals are always up for an espresso and conversation. In fact, one of our closest Portuguese friends we met at his restaurant after they had closed. He invited us in and we shared stories over late-night drinks. We've been great friends ever since.
Seems to be a thing here in Portugal. Remember the time we did it also in Cascais? The owner of a wine bar closed shop and kept us inside, pretty much drinking until wee hours of the night.
Since moving into our current row home, we've always felt welcome in the neighborhood. We had a very different experience on our move-in day here in Lisbon than our move-in day in Guadalajara, Mexico. If you've been following our channel for a while, then you'll know back in 2018, on our move-in day in Mexico, we realized our rental home had been burglarized of our personal belongings that we had left in the house the day before. We believed it was due to construction workers across the street watching us move items into an unsecured home and then notifying thieves for easy pickings, a common scheme in Mexico.
Not in Portugal. On move-in day here in Lisbon, I noticed our next-door neighbor was renovating his facade. Of course, I got flashbacks from Mexico, thinking it may happen again. Funny enough, though, after a few minutes, we heard a knock, and it was the construction worker from next door. He was bringing an Amazon delivery box that we had ordered the prior week, and it was left at our doorstep the day before. I couldn't help but give this man a hug, grateful and happy to believe in humanity again.
It was sweet. We actually used him to do some work in the house, too.
But think about kindness. One story that stands out is the time I was walking to my haircut appointment and saw an elderly Portuguese woman carrying 2 heavy bags of groceries up the hill. It is pretty common to see elders hiking up the hills around here. They're tough, and it's how they stay healthy and strong. But I went ahead and still helped her out. And with my limited understanding of Portuguese, I gathered that she was talking about her friends collecting items to help others. She mentioned something about the government not helping the poor, at least is what I understood. Anyhow, I thought we were heading to her home nearby. Instead, she led me to the donation box where locals drop off clothes and supplies to help the homeless and the poor in the neighborhood. I couldn't tell for how much I was impressed and touched by her effort and kindness. I just gave her a hug and said goodbye. And it's the day that I realized two things. One, I have to learn Portuguese. And two, I gotta stop giving hugs to everyone.
Portugal is the sixth country in the world where English is spoken best, and Braga is the Portuguese city with the best proficiency. Many locals, particularly younger generations, are fluent or conversational in English, thanks to mandatory English education in the schools and the popularity of English media, like movies, music, and TV. A lot of shows are shown in their original language, mostly English, with Portuguese subtitles.
Here's Johnny.
And this exposure allows people to hear and familiarize themselves with English from a young age. We also find that Portuguese are eager to practice English when an opportunity arises. Many speak multiple languages, including English, Spanish, French, and Italian. All of our local neighbors and friends speak at least 2 languages, something we're really envious of. Of course, this doesn't mean you shouldn't make an effort to learn the language of the country that's welcoming you. We're about to start Portuguese language courses in just a couple of weeks, as we still haven't learned much beyond the basics. Back when we lived in Mexico, I took an intensive Spanish course, and it really made a difference. Learning the local language not only helps with day-to-day interactions, but also goes a long way in helping you feel like part of the community.
You want to be aware of speaking Spanish, though.
And what I mean is, many people
People believe Spanish is the language spoken in Portugal, something that Portuguese don't appreciate. There is a sense of national pride at play, as well as the complex historical relationship between Spain and Portugal. At least don't start with Spanish from the get-go. The first month we moved here, being so used to speaking Spanish in Mexico on a day-to-day basis, I accidentally replied to a young waiter, "Gracias," where he abruptly stopped me and corrected me, telling me, "Do not say gracias, but say obrigado instead. And if you don't say obrigado, at least try thank you before you say gracias." Pretty much a scolding from a young 30-year-old made me feel like I was back in middle school in the principal's office.
You just bought yourself another Saturday, mister. Crush.
It never happened again, but learning Portuguese greetings will go a long way. Although Porto is different, they're used to speak more Spanish than English due to proximity to Spain.
Portugal's location on the western edge of Europe makes it an ideal base for traveling to the rest of Europe and back to the USA. Flights to major cities are short and relatively affordable, and we've been able to purchase round-trip flights to other European cities on low-cost carriers like Ryanair and EasyJet for less than €100. Some of our favorite quick trips within Europe are the Christmas markets, a new family tradition for us. Concerts and festivals in major cities like Madrid, London, and Paris. We got to see Depeche Mode in Dublin last year. It's an easy fly in, party, rock, and fly out. Something to keep in mind, though, the train lines in Portugal don't connect with the rail lines in Europe like many other countries. However, the overnight train between Lisbon and Madrid will be resuming in early 2025. One of the reasons we chose Portugal to live is the opportunity to obtain citizenship in just 5 years. Unlike many other countries where the process can take a decade or longer, Portugal offers a clear and relatively quick path to becoming a citizen. After living here for 5 years on a residency permit, you can apply for citizenship, and the process doesn't require you to give up your original citizenship. It's a huge advantage for expats like us who are looking for a permanent home in Europe with the freedom to travel across the EU, all while maintaining ties to our home country.
Having a second passport, especially an EU passport, provides freedom of movement across 27 European Union countries, making travel, work, and living in different parts of Europe so much easier. But when thinking about obtaining citizenship, careful consideration of tax consequences is a must, since foreign government pensions are taxed if you're a citizen, something that doesn't apply if you're a temporary or permanent resident.
If you're planning a move to Portugal, be sure to check out border.com. They can help you efficiently obtain your Portuguese tax ID, Portuguese social security number, and even set up a bank account, all from the comfort of your home. Use our link in the description to get $10 off their services. It's a reliable and hassle-free solution to take one more thing off your to-do list. The non-habitual resident scheme in Portugal was a tax incentive program introduced in 2009 to attract foreign professionals, retirees, and investors. It offered significant tax benefits for eligible individuals who became tax residents in Portugal and had not been a resident the previous 5 years. Although the NHR scheme came to a close in January of 2024, there is something similar known as the NHR 2.0. Formerly known as the Tax Incentive for Scientific Research and Innovation. It basically introduces stricter eligibility criteria than the old NHR, focusing on professionals and industries that contribute significantly to Portugal's economy, such as researchers and startups. The Golden Visa has also undergone revision in 2024. Property investment is no longer an option for obtaining a Golden Visa, with a focus now on alternatives like investment funds and scientific research. And speaking of taxes, as an American living abroad, you're still required to file taxes in the United States. That's why we're thrilled to partner with Taxes for Expats, a trusted service that specializes in helping Americans navigate U.S. tax filing while living overseas. They'll ensure you file the necessary documents and maximize the tax credits you're entitled to as an expat. Plus, they're offering our viewers a $25 credit on their first purchase. Just use the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen to get started.
We have met so many expats in Lisbon, and it really eases the transition of moving to a new country. There is something comforting about meeting people that are in the same boat to share the same experiences with you. We have made many friends from the UK, Brazil, Germany, Canada, India, France, Japan, Mexico, and the USA. The growing expat population means that there are more international-friendly services, businesses, and activities that help build small communities. For example, we get our authentic Mexican products from Casa Mexicana and Cocina Mexicana. There are various other resources available to meet fellow expats, like Facebook groups, meetup events, internation events, and the American Club of Lisbon.
Whether you prefer city life, coastal towns, or quiet villages, Portugal offers a range of environments to suit different tastes. From Lisbon's cosmopolitan vibe to the tranquility of the Algarve coast, there's something for everyone. Portugal has a sunny Mediterranean climate, and before moving here, we read there's nearly 300 days of sunshine per year. I think that's pretty accurate. I feel we had more than that in Lisbon this year.
Yeah, it's been pretty warm.
November, December, and January are typically more rainy, but the sun always seems to be out and about on this side of the pond.
We tend to get some cold winds due to the proximity to the Tejo River and the coast, but we sure don't get as much of the gloomy wet weather as the north of the country. Porto and Braga don't get anywhere near the 300 days of sunshine.
Portugal is home to some of the most diverse and stunning beaches in the world. Whether you prefer golden sandy stretches, dramatic cliffs, or hidden coves, there's a beach to match every taste. And the Algarve's turquoise waters, Costa de Caparica's super-friendly waves, Nazare's record-breaking swells, and the tranquil beaches of the Alentejo. Each offers a unique slice of paradise for every lifestyle.
But then, there's the Atlantic Ocean. Oh my, it's cold. Water temperatures generally range between 59 to 68 degrees, depending on the season and location. I'm able to get in the water and swim. It is uncomfortable at first, but eventually you get used to it. A wetsuit is commonly used for the water sports seekers.
Lisbon is one of the oldest cities in the world and the second oldest European capital city after Athens. With astounding historical landmarks, traditional festivals, and a vibrant city life, you never lack for anything to see and do. Avenida Liberdade has a modern feel, and Alfama, one of the oldest neighborhoods, offers a completely different experience.
There are lots of events and activities in both English and Portuguese. We attended many events in Lisbon in the past 3 years, like the Festas Populares. They're fun and part of our yearly tradition now. Concerts and festivals are generally well organized, and ticket prices are way cheaper than in the United States. There's no shortage of nearby wineries, sunset sails, sporting events, and beach parties. If you're into cultural events, the Belém Cultural Center here in Lisbon offers several performances, as well as the Gulbenkian Orchestra has paid and free shows throughout the year. And if you want to weep a little, fado shows are plentiful in the Alfama neighborhood.
Grande, grande era a cidade e ninguém me conhecia.
Portugal's cost of living is considerably lower than cities like Paris, London, or Barcelona. Rent prices have risen a lot in Lisbon, the Algarve, and Porto. But outside the main cities, housing is more affordable. Depending on where you live in Lisbon, everyday expenses are relatively low. Our neighborhood, located in Ajuda, although only 15 minutes away from downtown Lisbon, is still relatively affordable. The prato do dia, or dish of the day, is a budget-friendly lunch option that costs around 11 euros. It's usually a 3-course meal that includes a drink. Transport is super affordable too. We use a Navigant transportation card that we charge up as needed, or if you frequently use public transport to travel, there's a 30 euro a month option for unlimited use of the public transportation. For more cost of living and monthly expenses in other cities in Portugal, check out our Portugal playlist, where you'll find more details and cost comparisons with other countries like the US and Mexico.
Healthcare in Portugal is another compelling reason to consider relocating to. It offers a combination of quality, accessibility, and affordability. Portugal provides universal healthcare through its public system, the SNS. It ensures that residents, including residency permit holders, have access to affordable medical services, including general practitioners, specialists, and emergency care.
Portugal's healthcare ranks well globally. The World Health Organization has praised the SNS for its efficiency and focus on preventative care. Many doctors are multilingual, particularly in urban areas, which is beneficial for expats.
Healthcare costs in Portugal are significantly lower than in many countries like the United States. Public healthcare services often come with nominal fees, while private care, although more expensive, remains affordable compared to the US and other Western countries. As a resident of Portugal, you can access healthcare throughout the European Union, making it an appealing choice for frequent travelers within Europe. We've used both public and private hospitals in Lisbon, and we can't say enough of how good the services are. You can meet your doctor online via Zoom and fill any prescription online. We promise a couple bonus compelling reasons to still consider Portugal as a top choice to move to. The next one is a very important one, especially to Americans, especially to us. Portugal is considered one of the safest countries in Europe with relatively low levels of gun violence. Portugal emphasizes public safety and restricts casual gun ownership. The gun ownership for personal protection thing is generally prohibited. Firearms are mainly used for hunting and sports shooting.
Portugal's gun ownership rate is approximately 8.5 firearms per 100 residents, significantly lower than countries like the United States, which has about 88.8 firearms per 100 residents. This lower rate of gun ownership correlates with fewer firearm-related incidents. For my fellow wine aficionados, Did you know that every region of Portugal produces wine? From the lush valleys of the Douro to the charming local wineries around Lisbon, Portugal is home to an incredible variety of grapes and superbly crafted wines. Here, wine truly is the universal language of love and friendship.
And cheaper too, at least compared to the US. You can find great Portuguese wines for 4 to 5 euros a bottle. Hey, cheers to that.
Cheers to that. That's it. 10 compelling reasons why Portugal is still a top choice for Americans looking to live abroad in 2025. Whether it's the beaches, the food, or just the chill vibes, this country really has something for everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope sharing some of our stories will help you make the right decision.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights and city exploration. Oh, and let us know in the comments what's your favorite thing about Portugal. Thanks for watching.
All right, that's a wrap. Obrigado. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Até logo!